All right, today is the infamous leg day. And hey, shout out to Live Life for the tea. New sponsorship, new ambassador. Live Life. Yep. Like I say, today is leg day. Even though it's leg day, we stretch the upper body as well. All of it makes a difference. So we just continue. We continue to stretch, and we stretch it all. You know, I'm using Crunches. I'm using Crunches stretch band. If you don't have stretch bands, you need to grab you some of these stretch bands. I just ordered some yesterday for using this. This is good. You can get the whole one like this, or you can get the ones that have the loop on the end or without the loop. But whatever you do, make sure you get you some stretch bands. I picked up a pack all the way up to like 125 pounds, all the way down. I think for about less than 25 bucks. So you can do that. This is something that you need. So when you don't, instead of just jumping on the machines, going cold, causing an injury, what you want to do is you want to just grab these stress bands and get stretched out good. And if you sit, the good thing about these is you don't just have to use them in the gym. You can use these bad boys even sitting at home on the couch. So so when you're sitting at home on the couch, stretch yourself. Ooh, see? Already putting the tension on that quadricep. Now, stretching is very valuable. Why? Because it helps you out, and it decreases injury. So make sure you're stretching properly. This is my first leg day since getting back from the clave. So far, everyone out there that's been following me, they're following my journey. I'm only doing recommendations, not for you to just spend your money, but I'm wise about spending my money. And what I'm telling you is that this is something that you need to have. Every little tool that I get, I'm promoting it. Ooh. You can also get some of these, you can get them shorter, or you can double wrap them and move your legs, stretch out. So, all right. I normally start with the leg extensions to get my legs warmed up. So let's jump in with this. Now this particular machine I love because it moves. I just like the way it moves. All right. We call it the rocket version. And I continue to tell you today, listen, today is probably not one of my best days. but I will say it's a good day because the Lord made it and I'm here. And it's very essential that what we do is we pay attention to. It's very important that we pay attention to what we do. Don't mind the people passing by. We just stay lit in Christ, because that's what. It's really the only thing that's going to get you through. When your relationship is strong, that's where you're going to have to dig in at. You're going to try to find it in a lot of everything. But what you're going to need to know is at the end of it all, you're going to come right back to God. What I want to tell you is it doesn't matter whether you have brag publicly. What I'm telling you is that you better make sure you're making the right choices, because a lot of people made blind promises for a lot of people. All right, let's get these calf raises in. We're gonna work today. Feeling a little frustrated. However, this is what this is all about, though. We're just talking about ways to kill the stress. And I'm probably just gonna be rambling today, but it's gonna make for good. This is where you realize it's a good thing to wear the flattest shoes you got with good comfort. Yeah. This machine is okay, but for some reason I like the seated one better. You know, and you feel the burn, Hey, one of the things I'm learning too is that your legs play a great part of your health. Because remember, your legs are gonna be the thing that take you where you need to go. You can be in any shape or whatever, but what I'm saying is you need those legs to carry you. And a lot of times what we don't work on is we don't work on these calves. We do squats, but squats are not all the time directly working your calves. It's working your other parts of your legs, but specifically putting that tension on that calf. You know, you need those calves when you're just even getting up out the seat. It's not just your leg muscle, but the calves to raise you up. So when you activate those toes, even when you're running. So we want to make sure we get those in. All right, let's clean this machine and then make sure we move on to the next. Today I'm gonna go ahead and dedicate this to fighting through stress, fighting through stressful situations, because it's what life is gonna deal with. Yeah. You wouldn't even believe it, but I'm seeking to change that, and to be mindful that God is great, God is good all the time. And when you get stressed out, what it'll cause you to do, it'll cause you to derail. And I don't want you to derail. I want you to continue to do what you need to do, because it's what you need. You need in life. You got to continue to do what you need to do. The tank top, just broke it out the plastic just before I came. Shout out to Lift Life. I'm a new ambassador with Lift Life. I'll post my code when I post the video. So, well, I love the material. Material is great. There's a lot of people that's fighting stress every day that really think that they're not, because they're living well, they have plenty of money. Everything just seems right about it, but they're really not. We have stress. Some comes with family. With the family. Very not by yourself. excuse to get some type of leg exercise. Maybe not quite a week, but anyway, from Wednesday to Sunday. And yesterday, so today is Tuesday, so yeah. We'll get this belt strapped on, protect this back. Shout out to Beast Mode for this belt. Peace, pop. Yeah. That feels good. Lock that belt in tight. Don't worry about your stomach. That's only protruding because the belt is squeezing. You want that support on your back. It's still good on having a waist belt on or a weight belt, and you got it loose. It doesn't support anything. Hey, the one thing about this acting career is that you also have to be trained and ready for any situation. So for those of you that I may have not mentioned it to or didn't hear it on a post, so one thing that came into play that was while I was gone, I got a callback audition. Callback audition for this this show, another television show, right? And with that being said, I had no likes of what they say that they want. However, that doesn't mean that the audition does not go on. It means that you got to make do with what's due, and you got to still bring your A game. And so I was reading it. However, I still wanted to give my best performance. And just as I got the call back, I wanted them to see me in my best. And so I had to reschedule it, which they allow, they ask. But man, let me tell you something. When you go to rescheduling, you take the chance of not being able to audition again. So it wasn't until like early Sunday morning, right before we were leaving Cincinnati, that I got the call back. That I got the answer back for the call back saying, okay, we're moving your follow-up or your final, which is the final callback, it's the final round. So this is going to be it. And so now it's going to be intense, and which was such a blessing because I didn't even want to get back. I didn't even want to get back yesterday and have to be worrying about it. And then they also snuck some more sides in. But that's all good. That's not the point. I just wanted to make sure I had a fair chance. And what's fair? Fair is being prepared. Real talk. Yeah, so when you're traveling out of town, you always want to make sure you're taking everything you're going to need for an audition. And I know better, but I would have to say I purposely didn't want anything. And I really didn't think that the audition call would come back now, because this was back in June that I had auditioned for this. And here it is now. Well, actually it was July, early July. And here it is, August the 2nd is when that final callback came in. So I was blessed. And you blessed. Learn to thank God for what you call small steps, but they're actually big. Because I made it to that final round, which was the callback. Sometimes you have for projects, you will audition about 7 or 8 times. Now, if it's a television show, you can land a role, or what I mean by that is just You can hit everything for that character, and they love what you're doing. But now you got to have chemistry reads, whether you're the lead actor or the other actor. But most of the time, the lead actor, once the lead actor is established, everybody else is going to be built around the lead actor. And so though you hit your line, I had my protein shake with creatine on the way here. Just making sure I hydrate. All right. Not putting on the sleeves just yet. Don't feel like I need them. I'm working to not use the sleeves because that's another form of stress. It's like there's stress on the knees, and so stress on the joints, and we want to see how much can we do without having to rely on something else. And that something else could be you self-medicating or needing something to take away the pain. And so strengthening your body is going to help you beat that stress. I promise you, if you get in this gym, like already I'm feeling better. I was in the dumps coming to the gym today. That's no lie. And but one thing about it, I've committed to, even when I feel bad, I'm gonna keep coming to the gym. I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep coming. It's funny, I was coming in the gym, and one brother was greeting me, the brother that I met yesterday, and you'll see a video of him later. He was asking me about the DJI Osmo camera I got. And we was talking about what we're working. They were saying they was working triceps and biceps today, and I told them I was working legs today. I said it's the beloved leg day. And then for some reason I just told them, I said, yep, I love what I hate. And they got excited. They was like, that's good, that's good. Because what I was saying is leg day is not my most favorite thing, but I love it because it's one of my weakest points along with my back, right? So that's why I have been working on it the hardest and really been strengthening and improving. And so that's how I got the 315 pound squats and PR before I went to the cave. So I'm not going to jump back on that right now, but what I'm going to do is just keep working. You understand what I'm saying? You keep working. Because it's not an ego thing, because it was all the that increased the strength of my back and my knees. And so that's how you defeat stress. Man, I started to get 8, but whew, I felt the little tweak, so not gonna let the ego get me. 7 was good. 7 was good. Man, whew. It's funny because you can tell when you miss a few days in the gym. So that's why I say, even if you're going on a business trip, make sure you book a hotel, or your employers or the industry book a hotel that has a gym or a fitness room, because you need to keep working. You don't need to quit. All right. Whew. And wear that belt when you need to. People I don't rock with motivation, even though all my years in the Marine Corps, all we heard was motivation, 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 dedication, motivation, dedication. And so I appreciate that because it helped build me to that. But what I see now is that inspiration is something that's going to get you through the stress. So when you have inspiration, you understand that God is good in all situations. With motivation, what happens is you all hyped up over a situation, you're ready to go. But when you get that first hit, that first thing happened in your life, it derails you, like I was this morning. And you thrown off your rocker, you're thrown off your square. So when you're inspired, now, even for myself, let me say this, even for myself, there have been times in my life to where if I was going through something like that right before the gym, I'd have just scratched the gym because the workout was going to be whack. But not now, not now. I've matured to a place of life to where I'm going to still do what I plan to do. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I'm just going to die and I'm going to keep rolling. I'm going to keep rolling because that's what God. All right, let's switch legs. And don't do what I just did. That was a dumb move because you're going to mess around and throw your knee out. All right. The burn is real. That glute down to that quadricep, that hamstring. Feel it in your calf, all the way down. That's good work right there. That's good work. Ooh. Now, before you say anything, I know I already did calves, right? However, but this lesson in life, sometimes some of the same stress that you had and you thought you defeated it, gonna come right back around. Now, what you gonna do? Are you gonna keep fighting? Are you gonna keep standing up? Or are you gonna be like, I already fought that before, why I gotta fight that again? And you're gonna need to get on your feet and get up out of there. Or you're gonna have to get on your feet, stand your ground, and get rid of the stress. Now the importance of this calf
while I was away at the conclave. Man, I was out all day, probably didn't get back in until about 3 o'clock. Hit the Waffle House. Yeah, hit the Waffle House before we went in. So that was about 2 something. 8. But when I tell you, no, it's probably about 1 something, 2 something. And then anyway, got in, went to sleep. It was probably about 2 hours later. I mean, I'm telling you, just about 2 hours later, I woke up. And my Lord, I had cramps from my groin all the way down to my ankle. It was crazy. Crazy work. Now, my thought was, it was a reminder that I hadn't did any leg exercises since I left. So, the gym has a strange way of letting you know, like a girlfriend. Haven't seen you in a while. Or a wife would say, you didn't come home last night, you in trouble, mister. And make sure you come up on your toes. All right, so we've come to the end of our what we call stress session today, and it's been great. Started off slow, and I don't mean slow as far as lifting weights, but feeling a little stressed today, but I worked it out. So good thing for you to know is that I've tried it and it's true now. You feeling stressed? Go to the gym. Don't stay home. Sometimes home is where it is, your school or your job. Make sure you get a gym session in. Get rid of that stress so you can move right on to the next thing. All right, that's it for the night. Time to get it on. Hey, don't forget, remember to encourage, exhort, and uplift. Let's keep people pumped up, all right? Get in the gym. Get your gym membership. All right, God bless.